What is going on, everybody? My name is Ciara Lawler. Welcome to another week of Hero or Zero. This is the Heroes for Hire podcast. We are back again talking one comic book character, as we do every single week. We talk their good points, their bad points, and we just give you a general rundown of everything to do with that character. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Shaun Meehan. Shaun, how's it going?
I'm not too bad, Conor. It's very late at night, I'm going to be honest.
It's a late one. This is a Craven the Hunter situation. So my first question to you was, how are you feeling?
And I'm feeling mental.
That's the level you want.
That's all that is ever expected of me.
So, unfortunately, normally if we record here at Zero, obviously we want to record earlier on the day or even the day before.
And but ideally in the same room.
Ideally in the same room, but our schedules this week have slightly clashed in that we couldn't get together, so we're recording this a bit late. I am after coming back from training, and I have basically inhaled some food. I would say inhale. There was no chewing done. It was like a duck.
Just straight in, straight out.
Straight in. So if I said to you, if at some point I possibly maybe die of, I don't know, indigestion,
a famous killer in men your age.
The number one killer in Ireland.
Indigestion.
So this week, I am going to do a character that I talked about a little bit in Movie Mondays this week during
that was
the Justice
days ago, Conor.
Could have been weeks ago. Actually, no, it would have to only be days ago.
It would be, yeah,
really.
We do these 3 times a week.
Yeah, no, you're right there now. But we talked about Justice League Dark, and one of the members of Justice League Dark is a certain man called Deadman. Have you heard of Deadman, other than when we talked about him on Monday, obviously?
Yeah, well then, I've not really, no.
Okay. Do you know anything about Deadman?
He's a man, and funnily enough, you might not think this,
go on.
But he's not alive.
So this has actually been a request by one of our Patreons, Mr. Ed Ball,
Thank
on
you,
our
Ed.
Christmas Q&A. He said he would love to hear about Deadman. So now and now with the news of Justice League Dark, I thought this is the perfect time to tackle him.
Yeah, to tackle him to the ground.
Just to tackle him to the ground. Ed. I want to kick him. So Boston Brand, the Deadman. His creators were Arnold Drake and Carmine Infantino, and his first appearance was in October of 1967 in Strange Adventures 205. Now, Boston Brand is a bit of a strange one because while he was growing up, he hated his family. This is
right.
You might not have heard about this, Shaun, but superheroes tend to have a tragic backstory.
But is his tragic backstory just that he hated his family? Like, did they love him?
No, his parents in all comic books are portrayed as dickheads. For
right.
no better word.
And is there a reason, or is it just who they are as people?
I think it's just who they are. Maybe it's their upbringing. I don't want to get into the psychology of his own parents. In these fictional characters, I don't want to tackle their psychology or what brought them to the dance of sadness. So,
Jesus, that's poetic.
Thank you. Apparently, endorphin, Conor, poetic. So while he was growing up, his parents used to always fight with each other, and he used to go into his room, and he loved Peter Pan.
Of course.
So his favourite thing was to pretend that he'd go off to Neverland, and he would never grow up, so he'd be able to fly away.
Okay, and so he dies?
I love the fact that I'm explaining all this, and I know for a fact you're sitting there going, yeah, but when's he going to die?
Like, if there's one thing I know about this character, he ends up dead.
It's like an episode of one of those murder mystery things, like, someone's going to die. And you're like looking for the first 5 minutes, you're like looking at an old lady. Is it you? No, it's definitely who's that man walking down that street? He's going to get killed by the murderer. Just so Horatio on CSI Miami can take off his glasses.
Interesting you went CSI. I went Angela Lansbury.
Oh, Murder, She Wrote fan.
Indeed, she did.
I'd be a man for a touch of frost.
We all know this about you.
We all know, but a touch of frost will be my jam. So, Sir David Jason, respect.
What a man.
This Hero Zero is now David Jason hour. It's Deadman, fuck off.
That would be so good.
Imagine all I had was his parents hating each other, and then the next paragraph is David Jason.
And we seamlessly segued into it.
But I didn't tell you, but I just threw it on you.
You just trusted me.
I just feel like this is where he'll go. So, yeah, as he was growing up, he became very resentful. And so when he got to 16 or 17, he basically walked out. He said he didn't want anything to do with them at all. So he left his home, and of course, this meant because you leave your home and he's only 17, that would mean he's homeless, Shaun.
Okay, so now he's a homeless 17-year-old who hates his family.
Yes.
And is not in school.
Not in school. He's not learning about those decimals. He's not learning decimals.
I think you learned decimals before 17, Conor.
Did you? Sorry.
Sorry, I must have been in a special class.
When did you do it? I did it when I was 23. They held me back. Is that wrong?
They said it was hard for some people.
Yeah, look, and I was the only one there. It was weird. So, of course, because he's homeless, he did what every classic comic book character or a DC character, he joined the circus.
Ah, of course. They'll just take anyone.
Yes. They'll just take anyone. So, he became known as the Deadman. He was a well-known trapeze artist.
Oh, no. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so he became an amazing trapeze artist. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is very similar to another character I like, but this is the only thing that is similar in the way that they got their start and how they were so flippy.
Okay, but I just want to clarify right here. There's never been a DC story with a trapeze artist where the trapeze doesn't break.
Yeah. Now, the next line you might not like it, but he performed without a net.
Jesus Christ, Deadman.
Yeah, no, because he was a cocky little shit. And throughout all this Boston, because he grew up with very resentful and very angry, he's a dickhead.
He's an absolute
he's
prick
not a
of an
nice
18-year-old.
person. Yeah, he's just not a nice person, and he's just really cocky. He just treats people like shit, and he just, I don't know, he feels like he's above everyone.
Sounds like our next hero.
Exactly. Yeah. So he became this trapeze artist, and he was an amazing trapeze artist. But of course, he became too cocky, and he said, "I'll perform without a net. Don't worry about it."
Well,
now,
name one instance where that's ever gone wrong.
Exactly. So one night he pissed off the wrong people, Shaun.
Oh no.
A certain League of Assassins.
If there's ever a group not to piss, I think I say this every time the league comes up, but just
don't
be
piss
nice.
Them off.
Be nice to the assassins.
Remember your please and thank yous, and just let them leave.
That's all you need to do, Deadman.
Yeah. No, I don't know, man. Well, actually, he would be not Deadman. Yeah, see, he was mean, and that led. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
So he was then, of course, because he pissed off the League of Assassins, a bounty was put on his head.
Okay, how much?
I don't know the actual amount of how much was put on it, but he was killed by a new member of the League of Assassins called the Hook.
The Hook? No, but he loves Peter Pan.
Now you're kind of picking up what I'm putting down here, Shaun.
Is his just the story of Peter Pan? Like, is that his thing?
If Peter Pan was shot, yes. Was Peter Pan ever shot?
A musket, maybe? I don't know.
Was Robin Williams shot in that movie? I'm trying to remember back.
Oh man, it's a good movie. I can tell you that much. Dante Basco is in it.
The movie itself was shot. I don't know if the character in it was shot.
No, but you're right. Film exists.
I like that this little bit of this article is good because it says he was taken out by the League of Assassins, of course, their newest member, which, I mean, it's annoying that it's a newer member. I think it's a James Bond thing where you have to kill two people to get the killing license.
Yeah, it's your initiation.
Yeah, so Deadman, Boston Brand, I should say, was killed. And then it says, it wasn't personal. The mission was only for initiation purposes, so the Hook had no prior knowledge of Deadman. He just... Look, what can you do?
He was just told to kill him.
Yeah, within the story, Deadman was actually performing his act at the time, of course, and he was at the very, very top of the trapeze. Now, depending on the story, I think it's either the line gets cut or he's standing on the podium at the very top and he just gets shot. Like, straight through.
That's fucking lethal accuracy.
I'm surprised it's the League of Assassins.
I mean, yeah, but he's the new guy, you know?
He's all wayward. He's just guessing.
He's just all wibbly with his arms.
It's like when someone tries to play Call of Duty but they're always starting. It's just shooting in big circles until he gets it.
That's all. It's like when I play FIFA, I just push all the buttons.
Just see what happens. So, for many kindnesses, Brand... So during his life, Brand performed also a few kindnesses as well, and the only thing that saved him was these acts of kindness, because... Of course he dies because he's shot, and you see his ghost go up, and he meets, how am I going to do this? The Hindu goddess of balance.
All right.
Yeah, but now I'm always with you when you do Marvel shit, so bear with me here.
Okay, but I just want to make it very clear that if I had said that sentence, you would have disregarded my whole argument. I just want that to be on the record.
But you're better than me, though, Shaun, so please. I'm the worst of us.
You're Deadman.
Yeah, so Deadman was saved and then given his powers by the Hindu goddess of balance, Ramakrishna. So, Ramakrishna said that he would actually be going to the Black Abyss, which was like, obviously, I think it's just another way to say hell. So he was going to hell, and she was going to give him one last chance to right his wrongs.
Okay.
And how she was going to do that is that he was basically in purgatory. So his spirit was not in heaven or hell, and she gave him the right to go back down to earth in his ghost form and basically do good. And if he did enough good, then he could be able to then get into heaven.
So it is like he's just a ghost. He's your classic ghost.
Yeah, he's literally just a ghost. And so, of course, his first thing is that he wants to find his killer.
Yeah, get revenge.
And settle the score. So he begins to hunt for his assassin, knowing only that the man has a hook for a hand. Which, to be honest with you, if your nickname was the Hook, I think it would be better if you didn't have a hook for a hand. Because then that would throw people off the scent.
That's true. And if you do have a hook, call yourself like the Gloves or something like that. The matching gloves.
Perfect dexterity, man.
Mittens.
Ooh. So when Deadman learned that a villain called the Hook was a member of the League of Assassins, he was certain that it was the same man who killed him, Captain Dexterity.
God, he's fucking clever, this Deadman, isn't he?
Wait a minute. Along the way of his journey, Brand continued to interact in people's lives, doing good deeds in his own way.
In his own way.
In his own way, look. It never says he actually does good. It's just in his own way.
He just like sets an orphanage on fire. He's just like, another job well done.
Sets an orphanage on fire. Saves one of the kids. I did it in my own way, but I've done good.
Let me into heaven, please.
One ticket to heaven, please. So one of the people was another aerialist known as the Eagle. They would first meet in St. Louis, where the Eagle tried to kill him during a performance while in the air.
Little does he know.
Boston Brand as Deadman would see justice done as the Deadman when the Eagle was hired to replace him. So the Eagle was brought in to replace Boston Brand. Because, you know, Boston Brand was a trapeze artist and he was shot, so the circus now has no trapeze artist.
And also no one getting shot.
Yeah, no one getting shot, and that was the main thing to get people into the tent.
People love to see murder in the 60s.
It was a different time. So along the way he meets this Eagle, and of course the story goes that he's very jealous of him, and he tries to ruin him in his own way. And then eventually he realises that maybe if he helps the Eagle become better, then he'll have knocked off another thing off the list. So Deadman eventually tracked down the Hook, only to watch him die at the hands of the Sensei, the leader of the League of Assassins, Shaun. Oh, man.
Wait, Ra's al Ghul?
No, it just says the Sensei, which I think is a different character.
Different lead? Okay, fair enough. So
Yeah. Yeah, so he travels the whole way across the world doing these good deeds, but really he's just like hell-bent on revenge, and then he sees his killer basically get killed, so then he's like, oh, so now I have to accept my role as like just a ghost who, I'm stuck here.
And they have to actually try and do some good.
Because he's fueled by just revenge at the start.
But then he has no revenge to have.
There's no revenge left. So all he has, if nothing we do matters, Shaun, then all that matters is what we do. You know what I mean?
That was beautiful, Conor.
That's a line from Angel, the TV show.
Oh, it's less beautiful now.
Season 2, episode 16, Epiphany. It's a fucking good one. It's a very good one.
Jesus.
Okay.
It's no touch of frost.
I have that weird thing where I'm just able to remember seasons and episode numbers. Don't ask me why. So
okay.
Deadman has stop. So Deadman has worked with Batman a lot as well. They first met in Gotham City, and Deadman had tracked down his killer there, and Batman helped him find the criminal. This is the hook, by the way.
Of course, yes.
So
the very same.
The very same. So sometime later, Deadman was also hypnotized and forced to attack Batman. Him and Batman have kind of been, or I wouldn't say him and Batman have been kind of overlap, but I would say it's Batman stories, but Deadman has kind of come in every so often. Because Deadman has his own comic book series, but obviously Batman would be the number one. So yeah. Deadman would get more publicity by being in his comic book than vice versa.
I get you. So yeah. you don't put me on the Heroes for Hire podcast. You put the Heroes for Hire podcast on me. No.
Ooh, boys.
I'll be honest, Conor. I struggled with that particular joke.
So, like, him and Batman have worked together non-stop. He's helped Batman numerous times in regards to, there's several incidents where, like, gang leaders are coming in, there's been murders, and I think his way of going in, because if he overtakes someone's body, he can kind of, like, if he intervenes and takes over a gangster's body, he can kind of go into that crime instead of, or the gang, I suppose, and just, like, start asking questions that Batman couldn't do.
So he can actually just get information, like, firsthand.
Yeah, and he can kind of, and he can take over anybody's body, is what I should say, because he's a ghost. He literally, nobody can see him unless you have that superpower. So you can't, no one mortal can see him until he basically takes over your body and you just become him.
Or he becomes you.
Sorry, he becomes you. Yeah, that would be a better way to do it. So that's really useful for, obviously, Batman if he wants to get behind enemy lines. And so Batman has brought him in several times. And it's also, Deadman, I think, very much sees Batman as kind of like, oh my god, that's Batman. Oh my god.
He's a bit of a fanboy.
Oh, holy shit, that's Batman. But where he actually comes into his own is in the Blackest Night, Brightest Day storyline, Shaun. Now, the Blackest Night, Brightest Day storyline is, it's a comic, DC-wide storyline that had ran. It's a very, very famous comic run. And
right, I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, I've been very scared to do it because it's massive. And the thing about this is, as I said with, say, one of the characters from the Suicide Squad, is if I do this report, I have to tell you about everything to do with that story.
I get you. Well, I'm going to give you 5.5 minutes to do it.
Okay. Oh, boys. Right. Oh,
no, take
boys.
your time. Take your time.
So the Blackest Night was a storyline where the Black Power, the Black Green Lantern rings, or the Black Power rings, I should say. It's all about Green Lanterns and Black Lanterns. It's a whole, and White Lanterns. Oh my god! All right,
just power trip.
But basically, Black Lanterns came down and they came into the universe and they started raising the dead. So every dead character in DC was raised.
Okay.
Right? And was then possessed by the Black Lanterns to be like even more powerful and attack all of our heroes. So every character that was continuity wise dead. And now of course, Deadman, even though he's a spirit, is technically dead.
Okay. Right.
So he was raised by a Black Power ring.
His body was.
His body. So the ghostly Deadman tried his best to thwart the ring's attempts to control him, but sure, he couldn't because his whole body was taken over by the Black Power ring.
Okay. Right. I'm following you.
So in the whole storyline, it's a whole thing of like nobody can stop them, and the Black Lanterns are like massively powerful. But Deadman is the odd one out because he started dead and he's a spirit, so he's the only one that can kind of help and stop them and go behind enemy lines.
And the reason he's a superhero is because he's a spirit. Is that the...
Yes, yeah. Basically. Okay. And so throughout Blackest Night, Deadman basically possessed many of the Black Lanterns and travelled through their ring cortex in order to learn more about them. So why eventually the heroes won is because Deadman took over all of the Black Lanterns and their rings and learned how they worked and learned their weaknesses. Because once he becomes them, he knows everything that they know.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, if they had just not possessed him, they would have won. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, but well, I obviously it's comic book, so like this is all just up in the air. But he's the main reason why they were able to gather so much information and then defeat them in the end.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so he's vital.
He must have got into heaven for that, surely.
Because the Black Lanterns would have just taken over the whole world and killed everyone. So I mean, that's a pretty good thing in your ledger.
Yeah, he saved everyone. I think that's allowed.
And at the very end of Blackest Night, after they're defeated, Boston Brand was one of the 12 dead superheroes chosen by the White Light to be reborn. So then it became the White Lanterns. The White Lanterns took over. It's a whole comic book thing. But 12 characters were chosen to be brought back to life. And Boston Brand was chosen as one because, of course, he was like vital in the destruction of the bad guys.
Yeah. And did he accept it?
Due to the fact that Deadman is partially dead, he therefore returned to his human form. And he did accept it. Like, he just came back as his human form. And so, like, I think that was his reward.
Yeah, is that he can be a human man again.
Yeah. He actually, during all this... I think Batman and Robin got away from being turned into Black Lanterns by freezing themselves. That's an actual thing that happened.
Right, so they just took themselves out of commission, like... Yeah,
like Batman literally took him, I think it was Tim Drake, and he just froze them in a big block of ice, so the Black Lanterns just flew away because there was no life force left that they could suck all their life energy out.
Interesting. That's like... That's a real, we'll deal with this problem later move.
and Tim Drake is like, well, maybe I don't want to. No, you're going to the fucking ice, Tim. Right?
You're going first. So, I'm not risking myself.
Yeah, I have to check it works, Tim. So you're going to quit. As the reborn Boston Brand was walking through a cemetery, he encountered a deceased bird adjacent to the gravestone that had the name Boston Brand inscribed on it. He took the dead bird into his palm, but when it made physical contact with the hand, the bird was miraculously reborn because he was a White Lantern and he could bring back basically life to the universe.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah, so then as he caused the bird to alight to its nest via the use of its body, so he caused the bird to go up to its nest, a White Lantern ring appeared on his middle finger, and the White Light pleaded for him for assistance for unapparent reason. Brand appeared at many locations involving recently reborn superheroes. Throughout these scattered appearances, Deadman questions why he was brought back, and a voice responds to help them, referring to the other 11 people that were all brought back from the dead.
Right. Oh, is he leader of the White Lanterns then?
See, now, here's what you think, right? So, throughout the whole thing, he's just like, this white light is like telling me to help these people, and he's been doing that all along anyway, so he's like, okay, I'll try and help. And he tries to help the other 11 people. Deadman's final apparition is to Star City, and at the culmination of his questioning, like throughout the whole thing, he's just like, this is weird, what is this? The voice responds, help me live, at which time the power of the white ring overtakes him, and a star-shaped forest is resurrected in the exact spot of Prometheus's explosion in Cry for Justice. So Prometheus then pops up, and it turns out, oh man, Shaun,
he was being played all along.
He's been played all along, and it's a whole thing where he goes back in time, and I mean, it's absolutely mental. But why I wanted to cover this, I can't go all in on this. There's so much more to talk about. Bright. What we need to do, right, is literally we need to have just an episode that's on Blackest Night, Brightest Day,
and just talk through it. Because there's so many twists and turns, there's so many characters going on at once that like the next few paragraphs I was going to do, reading them now, like there's so many different things, like Aquaman's in it and Mera, and it's just, I cannot be getting into this. It's a who's who of everyone.
It's basically a who's who of everyone, and so throughout all this, he then decides that he doesn't want to be alive anymore.
He wants to go back to being a dead man.
Yeah, he wants to go back to being a dead man who he protects Earth in his own way. Burning, just orphanages and just homeless people. Just the usual thing.
His own way, how he sees fit.
How he sees fit. So the story goes that he is the reason why everyone was saved originally in Blackest Night. So he's like a massive character in that. And then he makes the ultimate sacrifice at the end, that he's just like, this white power ring is too much power for me, and he needs to, he wants to go back to his old life.
Doing things his own way.
Oh, also I should say that he is in love with Dove from Hawk and Dove.
Oh, does Dove know this?
No, Dove is aware.
Okay.
It's not like he's in the bushes outside. Like, Dove knows. So Captain Boomerang actually killed him again, by the way.
Like, as a favour? Or like in anger?
Captain Boomerang, just classic dick. Just again.
We know this.
So his powers and abilities. He has ghostly physiology. So Deadman has no physical body. Deadman's visage in the afterlife represents the manner in which he appeared during his final moments. So he's actually dressed in his trapeze artist gear.
Oh, that sucks.
Now his trapeze artist gear is a ghostly white face mask and a red acrobat uniform. So it's not that bad.
You're wearing that for eternity, though.
Yes, no, yeah, you might be clashing. It's weird.
What if it's black tie?
His powers are also possession, so he has obviously the ability to possess other living creatures. While doing this, he maintains full control over his selected target. I can even speak through them. A host body gifted with a particularly willful spirit, however, has been known to exorcise Deadman's presence from their form.
Like Batman.
They also maintain no knowledge or memory of being possessed once he leaves them.
That's messed up.
Yes. He also no, you wouldn't want to remember being taken over.
What if he made you like do a vlog or something?
Become Logan Paul. Deadman is Logan Paul.
Maybe that's what's going on with him.
Maybe that's what's going on, man. He also has invisibility because he's a ghost. Intangibility, he can go through walls and he can pass through everything. He's a ghost. He has flight because he's a ghost. Just think of all of Casper's powers. He's got all of them.
Friendship?
Sorry?
The power of friendship?
No, he doesn't have the power of friendship. No, that's where the similarity set
between him and Casper.
Yeah, he hates people.
Excellent.
His abilities when he was alive were acrobatics. So, like, what can you do?
Ghost.
His abilities while he's dead are occultism. So Deadman is intimately familiar with many dimensions of the afterlife and has knowledge of many of the mystical powers that interact in the world. Because I don't know if I mentioned this, he's a ghost.
All the powers of a ghost.
Yeah, and his weaknesses, power limitation, the health and nature of whichever host body he is possessing at the moment may place certain physical limitations on his ability. If Deadman possesses the body of an out-of-shape middle-aged man, he will not be able to run as fast as he would if he were in possession of a more athletic specimen.
I see. So he wants to possess Olympic athletes and things like that if he wants to get shit done.
Yeah, so but then at the same time, like, they would be the strongest people.
That's true.
That would be able to fight him off.
Yeah, so you need like someone who's real strong and real dumb.
Real strong, real dumb. Spider-Man.
He's very clever. He's a scientist.
No, I just wanted to slag your favourite character. Not
Is
Nightwing.
Deadman your favourite character?
No, I was slagging yours, Spider-Man.
No, I like Spider-Man though, Conor. Why would you do that? That's mean.
The bit of trivias I have is trivias or pieces of trivia.
Multiple trivias, yes.
Multiple trivias. Boston died at 2 o'clock on the day of September 10th. His tombstone indicates his date of birth and date of death as 1932 to 1966. This would make Brand 34 years old at the time of his death. Boston's twin brother Cleveland Brand.
Not as cool a name.
Cleveland Brand occasionally Boston Cleveland Brand occasionally posed as the Deadman during performances. Deadman's trapeze artist was the inspiration for Dick Grayson's original Nightwing costume.
Interesting.
Yes, and when Deadman possesses the body of another living being, that host body is surrounded by a green glow which cannot be seen by mortal eyes, only by Deadman himself, which I don't know why that would matter.
Is that a conceit for comic book readers to be able to tell?
Absolutely, yes.
Excellent. Okay, good to know.
So that is my report on Deadman. I know there's a lot more into this and I've probably only scratched the surface, but I think it's kind of an introduction. His comic books are drawn even like in a noir kind of gothic style, and I really would recommend reading one of them.
That's cool. That's a nice. Yeah. I was just thinking it was just standard comic book panels, like, but if it's like sometimes it fits the character.
Sometimes he's drawn as kind of like just a superhero, but some of the best ones is like he's drawn as like a skeleton. Like, it's his own costume, but he's like skeleton tin.
Interesting.
Yeah, because he's dead.
Oh, because he's a ghost.
Because he's a ghost, yeah, Casper, do you remember?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
So, that is it for this week's Hero Zero. Do you want to take us out, Shaun?
Thanks everyone for listening to this episode of Hero Zero. We'll be back on Monday with Movie Mondays, Wednesday with Weird News Wednesday, and next Friday with another Hero Zero. It'll be my week, so it'll be something Marvel related. Big thank you to everyone who supports over on Patreon. If you'd like to join those fine people, it's patreon.com/HeroesForHire podcast, or you can click the link in the description. Also in the description is all our social medias and our email address, heroesforhire_@outlook.com. Let us know if you have any recommendations or suggestions that you'd like to see done on Hero Zero.
Yes.
All of these things.
That's all I had, yes.
That's all.
I agree.
You've had a big day, the endorphins have worn off.
Oh, the endorphins, I need to go to sleep.
Let's, and eat your pie.
In my body. So I'm for Conor Lawler.
I'm Shaun.
See you next week, guys.
Bye.